You've reached Read the Smart Way. This is Kelly. Thanks for tuning in. Today I want to talk about my personal pathway to pregnancy and fertility and what actually worked for me. Everyone has their own unique journey, and I think that's important to recognize that there are different challenges and obstacles to getting pregnant, whether it be advanced maternal age, whether it be prior pregnancies, whether it be your medical history. So, those are all things to consider. I think there's a lot of, sometimes pressure for women to, start a family or get pregnant. I think that throughout that process, it is so important for us to stay positive about that pregnancy process and just, say positive things to ourselves. It just can be very tricky. Pregnancy and fertility is a very delicate dance. And I think that, you just go into it, and sometimes your experience may not be like someone else's. So just recognize that maybe if something didn't work for someone else, it doesn't mean it doesn't work for you, and vice versa. Something may work for you that doesn't work for someone else. So I would invite you to explore your options and see the different tools and techniques that are out there to help women on that road to getting pregnant. Nowadays, they have so many different apps and tools and different things that are available to us. So just, continue on your process. Good luck and be good to yourself. So I just want to get started and say that, me and my husband were together. We were in a relationship for about 3.5 years before we decided that we wanted to really get serious about having a baby. We had a conversation, and he said, look, this is just not happening for us. You haven't got pregnant. And I said, well, yeah, I know, and he was like, well, I've been trying. And I was like, wait, you've been trying? Because I ain't been trying. So to me, I felt like we're not on the same wavelength. We're not on the same page. You can't be trying and I'm not trying, because we got two different goals here. My whole life had been trying not to get pregnant. I mean, that's just, I wasn't trying to have a baby until it was like a conscious decision between me and my partner. So, I just said that had always been, okay, we're not going to get pregnant. So, we got on the same page, and I said, well, let's see what happens when we kind of try together. Let's be on the same goal. Let's try together and see what happens. Throughout that, with that revelation, we researched, and, an average cycle is about 28 days. So a woman's average menstrual cycle is about 28 days. And after your cycle, you have about there's about 7 to 14 days where you're supposed to be like ovulating, and within that window, there is a smaller window for like when an egg can be fertilized, which is about 12 to 24 hours. So, but you really don't know where that window is, right? I mean, so what I decided to do, because that information was a little bit daunting for me, we just decided to continue to have sex. Like, I said, let's just have sex for like 7, 8 days and just see if it happens for us. So we made a decision to do that. And I wasn't expecting instant results. I wasn't, because I was 34 at the time. And I just, I didn't know, if it was just gonna happen like that. So I didn't set a high expectation for that. I just said, if it happens, it happens. It just so happens that after that period, at about 6 weeks, when I could take my first pregnancy test, I was pregnant. So whoa, because I'm thinking it's gonna take some time, and it worked immediately. And I just felt so like, wow. But at the same time, like, I gotta get ready, because I wasn't thinking it was gonna happen that quickly. So that's how it worked for me. So I guess the lesson is sometimes you get what you ask for. But I will say that, I wasn't on birth control at that time. So maybe that's why it did work quicker for me versus somebody who's just getting off of birth control. I was not on any form of birth control for a few years because I was sort of kind of detoxing my system. And, I had some issues on previous birth control. So, I was in a long-term relationship. So I wasn't, I wasn't on birth control. Using protective barrier methods, but, I wasn't on any type of birth control. So, that is unique to my situation. So, keep in mind that I didn't really have that phase to where I had to sort of wean myself off of birth control. And if you are actively on birth control, then, it may take a little bit longer for you if you do try that method, because I didn't have, I didn't have to cycle that out of my system. So, I hope that this video is helpful and, that, you find some insight from it, and just, recognize that there are many different methods, out there, and just use what works for you. And like I said before, just continue to be good to yourself, be kind to yourself. Motherhood is an amazing, wonderful thing, but, the path isn't always easy to get there, and that's okay. We all have different journeys. So respect that, and, don't feel pressure from society. I know that when I was getting pregnant, when I was pregnant, I heard a lot of feedback from people like, oh, I thought you never had kids or didn't want kids. And to me, I felt like, I think I'm pretty much right on schedule with where I would want to have kids and where I was ready financially and just, mentally. So, I think that sometimes people have an expectation that you don't necessarily have for yourself. And it's important to differentiate between that. What society has for you versus what you have for yourself can be completely different things. So, good luck on your journey. And, we'd love to hear feedback, love to hear how you're enjoying our channel. We want you to stay tuned to 3 The Smart Way for more inspiring videos and just how we navigate everyday life. Thank you. Bye. Subscribe below.